If you are coming to Fly Day on February 24th, that is a Saturday, you are going to need to bring your entire Wright Flight binder, all of your quizzes, the final quiz, all of that information has to be filled out. They will be checking all of the assignments. I will be bringing your student contracts, so you don't need to worry about that, but everything else has to be in your binder. I will also be sending home with you the Monday before we have our Fly Day, a parent notice. This also has a lot of information for you that is really important. So it's just got a little note on it that reminds them that it's Saturday the 24th and says that you are eligible. You will get this only if you pass the final quiz. Attached, there will be a bunch of forms that they will need to fill out. Please remember to bring your binder, to wear closed-toed shoes, and of course weather-appropriate clothing. I will be meeting you in Tucson. There will be no bus that takes you there. It will be on a Saturday, so a parent or a guardian, someone who is in charge of you, will need to bring you to Tucson, and I will meet you at Tucson International Airport. I also put my phone number here. Parents can call and text me if they have any issues or any questions about Wright Flight. And then, of course, if they get lost, they can call me as well. I also hand wrote a little reminder to parents. It costs $40 to fly on Fly Day, so bring $40 to Tucson International Airport. I'm going to go over what this says. That way you are aware of expectations on Fly Day. If you pass the terms of the Wright Flight contract, you will get the chance to pilot a light aircraft at the Wright Flight Fly Day. Before you come to the Wright Flight Fly Day, you must make sure that your Wright Flight student's release of liability form is filled out by your parents and or guardians. That is going to be 2 pages into this packet. Let's see. Make sure either you or your teacher brings the form with you to Fly Day. This is going to be your responsibility. You will not be able to fly unless this form is completely filled out and at the Fly Day site. When you arrive at the Fly Day site, you will be asked to sign in at the registration table. That's probably where I will be hanging out. They will confirm your student's release from liability form and other information such as the name of your school. You will be given a name tag with your Fly Day number. It is important that you wear your name tag at all times, as this number will be used to team you up with your Wright Flight pilot and ensure that you receive your t-shirt and other items. After registration, you will go to the Wright Flight briefing area, where you will get a flight safety briefing by a Wright Flight representative and complete your boldface test if you have not already completed one. Hopefully, if you completed the boldface portion in here, that might be your Wright Flight test for boldface. So hopefully we're already covered. Remember the item in the Wright Flight boldface that relate to Fly Day ground safety. Do not run on the aircraft ramp. Also remember that when approaching an aircraft or after exiting it, do not enter within the radius of the propeller. Kind of common sense there. Once you have finished the Wright Flight briefing, you will be guided by a Wright Flight escort and the Wright Flight pilot out to your aircraft. There you will get to conduct your pre-flight. The pilot will take you on the walk-around pre-flight of the aircraft. The pre-flight is done to make a last-minute safety check of important systems like the flight controls, engine oil, fuel, etc. Feel free to ask the pilot any questions that you have before you get into the airplane. When you get into the aircraft, you will be required to buckle up. Make sure that you can see over the dashboard of the aircraft, and also make sure that you can easily reach the control yoke. Please obey the Wright Flight pilot's words regarding aircraft startup, radio usage, and taxiing. That's getting in and out of, on and off the runway. Make sure that you understand any instructions given to you by the pilot. If you don't understand something that he or she has said, please ask for clarification. This is your flight experience, and we want you to learn as much as possible from it. You will probably get to take off the aircraft while the pilot is guarding the controls. Pretty awesome stuff. As with many things associated with the flying, you want to make small, calm movements. Don't jerk the plane around. You will find that flying is easier if you relax and hold the control yoke gently. Try to be smooth and make minor corrections suggested to you by the pilot. After you start your climb, you will be turning toward the practice area where you will get to go where you will get to do different flying maneuvers. Some people, including many famous jet pilots and even astronauts, have gotten airsick on their first flight. This is nothing to be ashamed of. All Wright flight pilots will have an airsick bag handy in the cockpit for your use. So that's a barf bag, basically. Make sure that you know where it is and is ready to use if you need it. It is important to let the Wright flight pilot know that you are starting to feel queasy and he will take over the controls. Don't just randomly barf everywhere while you're trying to fly an aircraft. Remember, if you do use the air sickness bag, to secure the top of the bag with the wire or by tying a knot in it so that it doesn't spill out after you have used it. If you do get airsick, remember that many pilots have been airsick at the start of their flying career, so don't feel like it's going to ruin your entire flight experience. Just to let you know, no students have gotten airsick while doing Wright flight. We had one last year that felt a little queasy, but she was perfectly fine about 5 minutes in. So I'm not too worried about you. Particularly important is listening to the pilot as particularly important, I think is what it was supposed to say, is listening to the pilot as he comes in for a landing. Be prepared to do the Wright flight boldface GUMPS check. Please make sure if you don't know what that is that you go check your boldface. The landing phase is the most difficult phase for most pilots, as you know from your simulations where you all crashed. So listen up and try to understand what the Wright flight pilot is doing during the landing phase. Make sure that your feet are not on the tops of the rudder pedals during the landing, as that might make the brakes apply prematurely. After landing, you will taxi back to the Wright flight area. After getting out of the aircraft, you will get your photo taken, if it was not taken before the flight. Please remember to adhere to the Wright flight boldface after you get out of the aircraft. Do not run on the ramp and do not enter within the radius of the propeller. Go back to the registration table where I will be. There you will get your flight certificate and Wright flight t-shirt. Some teachers will collect all flight certificates to hand out at an awards assembly. That won't happen. You can take yours home. The Wright Flight Fly Day is a fun and exciting event. You have earned the right to fly. You are in the very elite of your age group to get to do this before graduation from high school. This could be the start of an aviation career if you want to pursue one. But the most important thing is that you have reached a goal that is very, very difficult. If you can fly an airplane, you can probably do whatever else you set your mind to. Have fun, enjoy your flight, and be safe. Perfect. Next, we have a map. Make sure your parents get a hold of this. It also has the address so that your parents can plug that into your GPS. Your Wright Flight Fly Day is Saturday, February 24th. We do not know when the show time is yet. I will let your parents know immediately. Please meet the executive terminal no later than the time shown. You cannot bring any sodas or carbonated beverages, and make sure you don't eat a huge breakfast before you arrive because of air sickness. Just eat a very light meal before you come, and try and do it a few hours before you come. Bring something warm to wear, and please don't forget to bring your camera. Next, well, this will tell parents where to park. We don't need to worry about that right now. This needs to be filled out completely. If you do not have this release from liability form filled out, then you cannot fly. So please make sure you fill this out and bring it to your fly day. And last but not least is 2 evaluations, one for you to fill out and one for your parent to fill out. Just kind of letting Wright Flight know how the program went and if you had fun doing it and all that stuff. So please bring all of this, the whole packet, your whole binder to Fly Day, and I will meet you in Tucson on Saturday, February 24th. And again, big reminder, it costs $40. So make sure your parents bring $40 to Tucson International Airport on Fly Day, not to the school.